Hello ladies and gentlemen. I still have panda eyes from the last time I filmed, but we're back and doing it again. And today I'm going to go through a bunch of this or that questions with you, share a whole bunch of my controversial opinions with you guys, and then you can choose if you hate me or not. I am on lifehacks.io where they have 89 good this or that questions, and I'm gonna pick out the ones that look interesting. So, cats or dogs? To be honest, as much as I love dogs, and even though dogs are like the only thing you guys have seen me with recently, I think I'm more of a cat person. And I really want to get myself a kitty. But the reason I say that is because I grew up with dogs kind of being functional outside to guard the house, and cats being the pets inside the house that you get to cuddle with and play with. And even though I've learned to love dogs now, and as much as I enjoy them, and as much as I would happily have a dog as well, I found that when I have a dog, I miss having a cat, but when I have a cat, I don't miss having a dog. So I guess I'm a cat person. Computer games or video games? I didn't think I'll be upsetting some of you so soon, but I don't know enough about gaming for it to matter to me. I'm okay with console, I'm okay with PC, I prefer simple games. And with the type of games I play, it doesn't matter if it's console or PC. Maybe someday when I can afford to buy myself fancy consoles and fancy PCs, I'll have a change of heart and be like, oh, I can't believe I used to play with that platform. I know a lot of people are pretty heavy on computer is better, but sorry to say at this point in life, it doesn't make a difference to me. Hot chocolate or coffee? Considering I still drink hot chocolate in summer and that coffee that's too strong can give me headaches, gonna have to say I go with hot chocolate more. I'm a tough cookie, don't get me wrong, but I'm not used to caffeine like the rest of this world. To be honest, I didn't start my day with hot drinks until I met the neighbor. Like drinking coffee or tea, I kind of had to have a reason to do it, like I had company or something specific. I didn't just have it every day. So caffeine was never a big part of my life, and I guess that's why I just never learned how to handle it. But there are some good coffee beverages out there. Some good coffee drinks. Coffee is a beverage. Anyways, when it comes to day or night, I think I prefer night, to be very honest. And half of that is probably because I'm more of a night owl. But the other half of that is the internet's awake at night. I am down in South Africa. So when it's nighttime here, it's daytime in America where the internet lives. So if I want to see any type of interaction, comments, new posts, anything, I have to wait for the evening when the states are awake. In the day, I basically get to see the things that I missed while I was sleeping and then nothing new, so I kind of wait until the evening for new stuff to pop up. And that's why I always say the internet lives in America, because everything depends on when they're doing things. Summer or winter? Winter. And that's for two reasons. Number one, I love winter outfits so much more, and I love getting to huddle up, getting comfortable, getting to drink cocoa without being judged, warm, hearty meals, stuff like that. The getting up while it's still dark sucks though. But the other part of it is, even though I can handle both heat and cold, at some point you'll reach the max that you can handle. And when it's cold, you just layer up, you cuddle up, you get yourself a warm water bottle, you have a good day. If it's hot though, you just sit there, stewing in your own juices, thinking about how hot it is. And I do not see the fun in that. Maybe I'd feel different if I lived near the beach, because then I can't really go in the winter, or if I lived somewhere where the snow is really bad and then I didn't like that. But as of now, I like winter more. If I had to choose out of all the seasons though, I think fall would be my favorite. Spring is nice and all, and very similar to fall here where I am, but it's nicer when the temperatures are slowly going down, not when they're slowly going up. Love or money is a question that I feel is unfair, because I don't think it should be either or. I think the two should be working together. Like, you should be working to further your career and make money and all that stuff, and your partner should be supporting you. And if you have the opportunity for a promotion or something like that, it should be considered as a legit option and explored, instead of just like, but are you considering moving? What about me? So in my opinion, these things aren't comparable, but I would probably say money, which sounds really bad, but if your relationship is good and it's meant to be and it really makes you happy, I think you can survive going long distance, for you to take the new job and for them to figure stuff out, to potentially move together or something like that. And I think you run the risk of resenting the other person if you give up this wonderful opportunity that could have set you up for life just because, you know, you like them and you felt that that's the right thing to do. You don't want to be sitting in your 50s pinching pennies and hating the person you chose because you love them. But I do think you guys should be working together towards your financial goals. You shouldn't be choosing between it and them. Book or movie is a very sensitive topic for many, but I'm going to be honest and say movie. And the reason for that is I am surprisingly picky with the type of books I enjoy. And there's actually a lot of books out there that are written quite plainly, quite direct to the point, kind of on like a teenager level. And that doesn't interest me to read, but those are the movies that get turned into books. For example, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Twilight. But I want to know the story, I want to understand all the references, I want to be able to talk to people about it. So I get to watch the movie, enjoy the movie, which even though the story isn't the best thing, it's okay because I can still enjoy a movie even though it sucks because it's only like 2-3 hours max out of my day. And then I get all the references and I can meme about it. Where a book, if I don't like it, it is literally weeks or months, depending on how long the series is, of my time for something that's ultimately meh, because it's just not the type of book I read. I have no problem with the stories and I have no problem with anyone that enjoys that type of stuff. Don't come at me, you're entirely in your right to think Harry Potter is the best book that's ever been written. But fantasy books that are a story simply for the sake of being a story aren't really what I read. So for most books that actually get turned into movies, I'm sorry to say I'd rather watch the movie. I feel like that came out very insulting and that's not the intention. I just don't read these books. I'm not suddenly starting to regret this video because of how many people are gonna come at me for having different opinions. Now the next one is fun, Coke or Pepsi. Now let's all say this one together. I prefer neither. I don't like either of them. I don't like them. I don't drink Coke. I don't drink Pepsi. I don't drink soda a lot anyways, but if there was Coke and nothing, I would have nothing. I don't like it. I've never liked it. And it's always such a thing because the rest of the world really likes Coke. So usually when people are supplying for a group, like if you're buying a pizza, you get a 2-liter Coke with it. If it's food at a party, there's usually Coke there, and I don't drink Coke. Same with fast food, they usually give you like Coke by default, and then I'd be like, hey, can I please have Sprite or something else? And then others say, no, this promotion is only with Coke, which sucks. Or occasionally the person would just forget and give me a Coke anyways, but I'm like, why? And don't even get me started on using Coke as a mixer when you're drinking. That's like the worst thing you can mix anything with. There are better options in this world. Anyways, rain or snow? I'm gonna have to say rain because I don't think snow, as nice as it is to have snow outside, I don't think you hear it falling the same way you hear rain. Given I haven't seen snow in about, what, 12 years? But I don't remember ever waking up in the middle of the night because of a sudden snowstorm. I've woken up in the middle of the night because of a sudden cloud break, that's for sure. So when it comes to the experience of having it fall down, I'm gonna have to go with rain. Another fun one, comedy or horror? I think the popular answer here is comedy, but I cannot stomach comedy movies. I find them so dumb. I don't find humor for the sake of humor funny, and I don't find being dumb for the sake of humor to be funny. I really can't think of a single comedy movie that I liked. They're usually just too much, they're usually just trying too hard, and they're usually just doing weird stuff that would usually be unacceptable, but haha, it's funny because we're a comedy now. No. Especially comedy for adults, there's usually like a lot of unnecessary sexy time things involved, and like why? What makes that funny? Why do you think there's so much humor in things people do in the bedroom? Like, I just find it to be really cheap. I don't like it. But I'm sure, as you know by now, I am a big fan of horror movies. It might be fun for you to know that I love horror movies and hate comedies, and the neighbor loves comedies and hates horror movies. So usually we compromise and watch a horror movie. I mean, I would watch a comedy with him, but then he knows I don't like it, so he doesn't want to watch it with me, so. By the way, horror movies have their cheap tactics too, don't get me wrong. And there's some really trashy horror movies and I'm like, okay, that was a waste of time. But the premise of the horror movie usually isn't, let's see how bad we can be. That's a comedy thing. When it comes to hamburgers and hot dogs, the obvious answer in my opinion is a hamburger. I think those things are divine. I wish I could eat them at home, but I really have like all the fresh stuff at home you would need to make a hamburger at home. I don't always have lettuce and onion and tomato and buns. Like, I usually don't have all that stuff available at the same time, so they don't happen often in my house, but I really like them. And I think the same is true if you're vegan or vegetarian. There are great alternatives for good burgers. But I haven't had a good hot dog in ages. So right now, if I had the option, I'd probably go for a hot dog. But as a rule of thumb, I prefer hamburgers. Another one I don't think you can really compare is traveling by boat or traveling by plane. And that is because I think traveling by boat is the experience, where traveling by plane is kind of something you do to get to something. I know both get you to something, but even first class in a plane isn't as nice as the experience you get on a boat. You're on there for a number of days, you get a tan, you get to swim, you get to go to buffets. Where in a plane, you just kind of suffer through a few hours to get somewhere. So if I want to get somewhere, I take a plane, but if I want to enjoy the experience, I take a boat. I'd actually love to go on a cruise. I thought about maybe going on a cruise when I graduate or something like that, and I looked into prices, and a cruise costs the same as a year of my uni, and I had to get a student loan to pay for my uni fam, so now a cruise is not happening. I look forward to having the cash to go on like annual cruises or stuff. That would be nice. Singing or dancing? Singing all the way. I'm definitely not the best singer out there, but I'm much better at singing than I am at dancing. I have a number of years of choir under my belt, and only like 1 or 2 school forced plays I had to dance in. Like, I'm not being dramatic, but TikTok dances look hard to me. I'm really not a dancer. One that always gets under people's skin is phone or computer. I prefer my phone. I do everything on my phone. And you might be thinking why a computer can do so much more than a phone can, but my phone is a lot better quality than my computer, that's for sure. My phone right now is a Galaxy S9, which when I got it was pretty top of the range. Where my computer is something I got really cheap at a Black Friday sale because my old one that was 10 years old didn't want to turn on anymore. My computer lags, it freezes, it can't run everything, and it's just a hassle for me to work with, where my phone, it's set up properly, I know where everything is, I know how everything works. Obviously with classes being online this past year, I learned to use my computer a lot more because it gets difficult to type research paper after research paper on your phone. But usually I'd end up typing it on my computer and doing all my research on my phone. Another reason I prefer my phone is my phone's a lot more mobile than my computer. Like, I don't take my laptop out of the house, but my phone goes everywhere with me. So I can work on whatever project I'm working on, be it editing pictures or writing a report. I can do it on the go, where my computer I have to wait until I'm home and then turn the thing on and then wait for it to turn on, and a hassle. I prefer my phone. I'm sure another big part of that is that I just love filming and taking pictures and stuff like that. So obviously I get a lot more use out of my phone than I would out of my computer. And that's also why I'd be willing to pay so much more for a good phone than I'm willing to pay for a good computer. Like, in my opinion, phones are around like 18, 20K in like our currency, not your currency. Where for a good computer, I don't really want to pay more than 10, and I'll just make do with whatever quality that gets me. Where other people think phones should be in the 10 range and their computers can be in the 30 range. This might change someday, but I have different opinions about computers than most. Gold or silver? I think gold typically looks better on me, so for that reason I'd go for gold jewelry more. Also, when I was a kid, my dad made a big deal out of gold is classier, you don't really wear silver and stuff like that. Well, now I obviously do wear silver, it depends on the outfit I'm wearing and what it looks like. But with my skin tone, I tend to just go with gold. Now this is a question I really enjoy. Frozen yogurt or ice cream? And my answer is ice cream, which a bunch of people will be like, yeah, no, ice cream's better. But no, it's not that I prefer ice cream, it's that I dislike frozen yogurt. It don't have a nice taste to me, okay? It has this like bitter type of aftertaste, and I'm like, why? Why would I want this? I'm not here for the tang, I'm here for the sweetness. So I don't like frozen yogurt. I'm sure someone in the comments is gonna be like, no, but you try this place, they have good frozen yogurt, but it's very expensive and I have paid high prices for some disgusting stuff, so I'm not gonna try my luck again. Money or fame is an interesting question because fame usually comes with money. Money doesn't usually necessarily come with fame. So the logical answer would be, why not take both? Get fame and cash. But assuming it's either fame or money and there isn't an option to have both, I think I would go with money. Because as much as I like attention, I'd like to be famous because then I get to interact with a lot of people. I would rather be comfortable and get all my attention from like my group of friends and stuff like that than I would want to be the struggling artist stressing about paying the rent every month but people recognize me on the street. I'd rather have all my bills paid for and then worry about self-fulfillment than I would be too busy worrying about bills to realize that I can be fulfilled. Piercings or tattoos is a fun one, and I think I'd rather go for tattoos than more piercings. I actually wouldn't mind getting a tattoo. I have like opinions about tattoos in general, but I really don't like more piercings. I know my sister's really big on them and they suit her and all that, but I don't feel having another piercing would add to me. I think my tooths were good enough. I'm sure someone watching is like, what the hell does she mean? Her teeth substitute for piercings. I have tooth studs, okay? And they are a 100% reversible form of body modification, which made them perfectly fine to do in my uni years because if I regret it later, I just take them off like nothing happened. Apples or oranges sounds like an innocent enough question, but oh no. I prefer oranges, both because I actually like oranges and because I really dislike apples. Like, I'm really just not a fan of apples, and people tend to be like, why, what's wrong with apples? They're just, you know, normal. But like, I don't like them. I don't like apples. I don't like apple pie. I don't like apple crumble. I can eat it, but I don't like it. Imagine if I became a teacher and I just had to smile and say thank you to every kid bringing me an apple on teacher day, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do with all these? Where does the stereotype that you give your teacher apples even come from? I don't think that's a good thing. Like, does it imply that teachers often go hungry and that's why kids give them food? Or does it imply that kids gift their own, like, lunch to the teacher because that's the only thing they have to give? Anyways, big fan of oranges, not a fan of apples. Sweet or salty is salty all the way. I love my salt. I love it on everything. My favorite thing is popcorn because I get to dump all the salt on it and just smudge my eyeliner, but salty trumps sweet in my world. Digital or analog watches, I would prefer an analog one. I just don't like the look of digital ones. I think those smartwatches are cool, but right now I don't think they'd suit me. So just because I really like the aesthetics of analog watches, I'd go with that instead. Also, between the 12-hour and 24-hour format, I prefer the 24-hour format. What you call like military time or something, that is superior. I don't want to ask you if you mean 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. for a meeting. And for those of you who don't understand it, when the clock hits 12, instead of going back to 1, it just continues counting. So it goes to 13 for 1 o'clock. So if you want to know the time, if it's a number under 12, that is the time. And if it's a number over 12, you just subtract 12 from it and then you have the time. It's easier for everyone involved. Online shopping or in-person shopping, I am 100% gonna have to go with in-person shopping. Number one, I have like never really shopped online, like once, 1.5 times maybe. But people are good at taking product photos and then the thing is not nearly as nice as it looks. So I need to see it and see if this is cheap quality or not before I spend on it. Also, shipping here sucks. So if I buy something online, I'll maybe get it like next year. So if I just go to the shop, get it myself, I have it right now. And then the last question so that we can wrap this up, do I prefer Scooby-Doo or Tom and Jerry? And I very, very much grew up a Tom and Jerry kid. So that was fun. I really put myself out there, but it's okay. I'm ready to fight for my opinion. We can debate in the comments. I would really like to hear your opinions in the comments and why. Why do you prefer Coke? Why are you a dog person? Why do you prefer console over PC? I'd love to hear all that. But I really had a lot of fun today, so I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making this video. I should do more stuff like this because this was enjoyable. If you'd like to see more like this, please hit that subscribe button so you can see my face again. You can also hit that like button if you're so inclined. You should hit that like button if you agreed with me more than you disagreed with me, which probably means no one's gonna like this video, but that's okay too. But then this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye!